opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
He said he was done forever.
He is done.
The end of this Trump era.
There'll be new faces and new voices.
The final chapter of Donald Trump.
I don't know what the future of this party can be.
The movement we started is only just beginning.
The entire system went after him.
Mar-a-Lago was raided by FBI in
New York indictment.
A sweeping indictment in
Donald
Georgia.
Trump says he's been indicted again.
I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear.
But he never stopped fighting for you.
I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country.
And we will win, win, win. We're going to win, win, win.
Thank you, President Trump, for fighting for us. The greatest political comeback in American history.
Donald Trump has been elected president.
Now, it's time we fight for you.
The golden age of America, that's what we have.
The best is yet to come. Coming this spring to MXNBC, a groundbreaking series that will change the U.S. government and the world forever. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, under the direction of former star of The Apprentice, Donald Trump, will challenge 3 million contestants to carry their load or hit the road. That's right. We'll be asking every government employee to prove their value.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Just like in a good old-fashioned meritocracy.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
What would you say it is that you do around here?
I mean, a lot of days I really do stuff. It's just there's not that much going on today.
I helped Tanner and Blaze replace those heavy 5-gallon water containers.
Tune in each week as Elon and Vivek measure every federal employee's value and efficiency.
And time. So your study on how cocaine enhances the sex drive of Japanese quail. What's that worth to the American taxpayer?
I think it's priceless.
And get ready for the savings, as those that don't make the cut get shown the door.
The president wants to tell you something.
Firstly, thank you for coming in today, and second, you're fired.
The Emmy Award-watching viewers of Deadwood and Idiocracy present Doge Days, the purge of the U.S. government.
There is a whole forest of dead wood out there. We got to get chopping, buddy.
Well, hello. Welcome to the shit show. I love those two videos. I can't help it, you guys. I'm addicted to them. But I just want to say hello to Bruce for joining us tonight for the show. And I'm thankful that you got to join us tonight. I'm so happy. And man, we've had a really good week. This week has been kick ass. At least it has for me. So how are you guys doing? How are you, Orange Hat and Ruben?
I'm doing great. Good. Oh my God, sorry. This is how good I'm doing. We're back, baby. We're back. Sorry. 4 days.
Hey, right.
Was it been 4 days or 5 days? No, never mind.
Right, Giddy. I don't know, 5 days, 6 days. I don't know.
He's done more. He's done more in 4 days than Biden did in 4 years.
Well, yeah. Isn't that shocking how much he's done in just a few days since he's been president? It's already
promises made,
promises
kept.
And now I'm going to say hi to everybody in the chat real quick before we get started, because I saw Grumpy Old Ninja Kitaro is how you say his name? Kitaro?
Yes, Kitaro.
Okay. Yeah, he came in earlier, and when I was first setting up and everything. So, and say hi to him. He's probably not still here, but and then Jackie came in because I know she has to go to work. So, but she just wanted to say good luck. She always says that, so it makes me feel good. And then Baby Girl came in after Bruce. So let's say hi to them. Let's see if there's anybody else in here. And then Riot Kitty, thank you for stopping in. We appreciate it. And whoever's on X and on Rumble, I haven't been able to go over there yet. But I hope you guys are ready for a great weekend. It seems like the sun is shining, even though Trump is basically stop global warming, apparently, because everybody's freezing. You got snow everywhere where it's not supposed to be, and I don't know. It's just been great, and people are still happy. People are in blizzards and they're out making snow angels and having a grand old time because there's hope. They got hope now, and that was one of the things today when I was doing the live stream with Trump, traveling to North Carolina. And then I think he stopped off in maybe in Vegas. I'm not sure. But then he went to California, and he was wanting to meet with all these people who's lost their homes and everything, right? And meet with the mayor. So we're going to watch a little bit of that. But that made me happy. I mean, just to see the response that he got from all these people, it made me feel good because the hope these people had, and they were applauding things that he was saying. It's like they're renewed, they're getting rejuvenated, even though a lot of these people lost their everything, just like the people in North Carolina. They lost everything they had. Okay. And it just makes my heart feel good for this country. That's one of the reasons why I changed the background, started doing that, because my renewed love and faith that this country can heal. Okay. So I just wanted to do that. But before we start, I wanted to play this one video because I saw this, and to me, this is a miracle in action. We're actually getting to watch a live miracle as it happens and as it unfolds. And I love it. And I've seen it, a lot of people sharing it instead of talking about it. But to me, that's exactly what this is. I heard a story, and I talked about it a while back, a couple years ago in a space. And we were talking about miracles and about different things and how miracles affect different people. And I remember one gentleman in the military who was talking about the miracle of speaking in tongues. And a lot of times I've seen this happen in churches that I've visited, people rolling around the ground and they're talking and like blah, 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 like stuff like that. And they're saying they were speaking in tongues, and people were saying, that how awesome that was. They were filled with the Holy Spirit, but it wasn't what I felt the real purpose of speaking in tongues was. When I saw the movie, The 13th Warrior, that to me was speaking in tongues. When he's sitting around a fire and the Vikings were talking bad about him and his horse and his mom and different things like that in a language he didn't know. And all of a sudden he's like, "You're talking about my mom?" And he gets pissed off because all of a sudden he's praying and now he can understand what they're saying. So now he can communicate it. That's the miracle of speaking in tongues, being able to understand a language you never learned, never heard, and you wouldn't be able to speak it yourself without the help of God, right? That's a miracle. And I had a veteran tell me that he crash landed in a plane covered with snakes. He didn't break anything. He was lucky, but that he was rescued by people, and they took him to their community, and he couldn't understand what they were saying, and that he started praying that he needed to be able to get a certain place, and where he was at, and he didn't know, and he didn't have any of his stuff because I guess he was unconscious or whatever when they saved him and took him to their village. And he was praying, and all of a sudden he said he could understand everything they said, and that he wept. He talked about how he cried because he was so thankful to God to give him the gift of speaking in tongues so he could get saved, save himself, and help the other people that he knew were in that area, why he was in this plane. So this miracle I want to share with everyone before we get started is what I believe is another miracle. It's not speaking in tongues, but if it hadn't been for this man coming across this other man, he would never have lived. So I want to share this video real quick with everyone, give you a little bit of inspiration that miracles still happen, but we have to be willing to look for them and see them and watch them unfold and then share them with other people so other people can experience the same thing. So I want everybody to see this. Okay, make sure it's turned up. Here you go. Now this is deep snow and trees, and if this guy hadn't went exactly the way he's going to go, the miracle would never have happened.
Oh shit!
Pole got stuck on something
You all right?
in the deep snow.
Well, that's one of a hell of a Facebook poke.
People who've never been in deep snow like this have no idea what it's like. If you get trapped under it, you can't move. You're buried. You cannot get out. You cannot dig yourself out.
One of the things that we learned when I was a kid is we actually do get buried in snow for a little bit. A couple feet, just to give you guys an idea of how heavy it can be.
Yeah, it's heavy. The one thing I was told when I lived in places like this, never go out there by yourself, even sledding. This guy was snowboarding, and he flipped or whatever happened, but he got buried head first. So his head is way down in there. He's upside down. If his board wasn't sticking out like that went on his foot, and his pole hadn't clicked on it, he probably would have died, froze to death, and suffocated in the snow. Look at this! Look at the work this one guy is doing to save a total stranger.
You all right? Can you hear me? Oh, come on. Come on, help me out. Help me out here. You okay? You all right? Okay, you're good. You're good. I got you. You okay? Can you breathe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. We're both gonna catch our breath for a sec. I'm gonna help dig you out, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. You're good. Oh, all right. Get a little more snow away from your mouth. Okay. All right. Okay, you all right?
I'm good.
Okay. I'm gonna back up for a second, get my shovel out, okay?
Thank you.
You're good, man. You're good. Oh. Holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Did you see that? There's nothing out there. There's no people. This guy would never have been found. And this guy's skin saved a man's life, saved another person's life.
Okay.
Look how deep that is. That is huge. I mean, there's just no way he would have gotten out by himself. No way.
Oh my God.
Look at him. He's just stuck. He's got his face.
All right. How you doing? You good?
I'm good.
Okay. Good. I'll get you out of here in a sec, okay?
I have been buried before.
You hadn't seen the story?
Huh?
You hadn't seen the story?
Yeah, no, I've seen it, but I wanted other people to see it. I've not seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been sharing it.
Yeah, it happened last March. Last March it happened.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's a miracle. That is a miracle.
It's coincidence.
I mean, because who else was going to save this guy?
Someone else that came along the trail.
Who? Did you see anyone else out there? And the fact that he went right between those two trees and
the trail.
It wasn't a trail. I showed you there was nothing there but a
Lord
snowbank.
works in mysterious ways.
Okay.
So okay, well, I truly believe
I
that
know
was
that's how things work.
and we people, we need to start sharing anything we see, whether it's with puppies, people, animals, cars, whatever it is. If you see something like that, start sharing it on your social media. Start letting other people see something good happening. That's one thing that we can do instead of it always being negative. Let's all try to the best of our ability to share when something wonderful like that. What we saw, a total stranger get his pole stuck on a person's ski board and realize someone was trapped in the snow and way down in there, head first. There's no way he was ever going to dig himself out. And if we could do that, what would you do if you were the person that was buried or you were the person that was able to save someone? And so I just wanted people to start off by thinking about that, and that happens every day. Somebody helps somebody every day. It may not be a miracle, but try to do something good for someone. That's all I wanted to say. I don't know how long he'd been there, but it didn't matter. Even if it just happened 10 minutes earlier or whatever, the fact that this man found him and was able to dig him out, he saved him. Because people die all the time, every day in a car. I've seen videos of people being pulled out of vehicles, all kinds of things, drownings, people saving other people. I saw a woman being saved by one of those surfers with a big he's holding a rope or whatever, and he's got a big parachute pulling him along, whatever that is. And he saved a woman that was drowning out there. And he had his camera and everything, his little GoPro or whatever. So it's just nice to see that other people are human, just like what Trump said today in his thing that about FEMA. He said people can help other people better than the government.
In the private chat, I put the story.
Which story in the private chat? Okay,
the same,
for now,
this story.
This story that I'm talking about.
Yep.
With the snowboard guy.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it so I can put it in the private chat for everybody. Oh, damn it. Something's not working right.
There's atmosphere, probably a few minutes, more than likely less than an hour.
Yeah. It was not long enough for him to suffocate down there or freeze to death. And plus, good surfers, or not surfers, but snowboarders and skiers, no, you don't go skiing in blue jeans and a sweatshirt. You wear snow gear and stuff, so you will last longer than if it was like an avalanche that took over people and stuff that weren't prepared for the snow.
Don't wear all the white.
Yeah, so it just I'll share that in the chat. But what I wanted to do, what?
Don't wear all white.
Oh yeah, that either. But you should also, if you're going to be doing that stuff by yourself, you're supposed to wear these armbands or whatever, so like a beacon or something that goes off when you get buried or something like that. I don't know that much about it because I don't live there anymore in those places. But when I did, a lot of people, when we went skiing, we always went with two people. We never went by ourselves. There was, rules you followed. But I just wanted people to see that because I've shared it on a couple of my streams that I've done because I've been doing a lot of live streams and stuff, and talked about it because to me, it's inspiring that man, you could hear how his adrenaline was just going through the roof, but he wanted to help this man. He wanted to save this person that was trapped, and he did. And I'm thankful that a person like that, hopefully, if I ever need help, will be there to help me. So yeah, I'll share that in a second in the chat for everybody to see. But was it Orange Hat wanted to share something? So let me bring that one up real quick. Hold on just one second.
So,
Something too.
Yeah, here it is. Okay. I had to do the present.
One of the things that's been going on, or that happened, one of the things that happened during the inauguration celebration after his inauguration was people started freaking out over this thing. Now, yes, folks, you are going to see a historical a black mark on history salute on the left to give you guys proper context. Now, for those of you who don't know, yes, I was born in Germany. And yes, when I was in school, I was bullied by kids ever since I was in 3rd grade. I did or we had to announce where we were born and whatnot. And well, when I was born, or when I announced I was born in Germany, well, kids started to bully me and whatnot. And yes, some of them even did the actual Yahtzee salute. And so when I saw Elon Musk or people freaking out over it, and I'm like, well, let me take a look. And I'm like, no, nope, that ain't a Yahtzee salute. Because one, he said, I'm giving you all my heart. And then he puts it out to the side of his body. Look on the left, that's a genuine Yahtzee salute. Look at the posture of the body. I guarantee you, if a real Yahtzee was living today, the last one died in 2019, know your history, and saw Elon do that, that person would be extremely pissed off and probably want to kill Elon for mocking the salute. But also, everybody's freaking out saying, well, he did it on purpose. Well, here's the thing. Then everybody's like, well, okay, well, Democrats were doing the same thing. It's like, no. First off, none of them did the Nazi salute. None. Not even the Democrats. Yeah, you take pictures where their hands are in front of them and whatnot, sure. You can provide the out-of-context argument. But guess what? I'm not a person that's going to give any credence to out-of-context arguments. I'm going to provide the context. When you see a picture of Hillary Clinton having her hand out the same kind of way, where she's in the middle of raising her arm to wave at people, same thing with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and all those other idiots out there. Yes, is the motion similar? Sure. But when you are talking about the actual act itself, the Yahtzee salute, there are 3 things that need to happen. First, you're clicking your damn heels together. You're standing up straight. You're throwing out your arm, and then you say the ZH. I'm not going to say it because, well, we'll probably get kicked off. That is the actual salute. Anything in imitation or whatever is absolute absurdity. And the mainstream media, for one, pushing all this shit, list communist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez claiming, oh, I don't like any of that stuff. Bitch, you fucking support those kind of ideals. You may not have done it yourself, but you actually support the ideals. You wanted people censored. You wanted people punished for their ideals, for what they said and what they believed. You wanted all those kind of things done because you wanted ultimate power. You still do. And yet you're going to go after an autistic person, because yes, Elon Musk is autistic, for those of you who don't know, and say, oh, he did the Yahtzee salute. He's a literal Yahtzee. No, he's not. He doesn't worship at the altar of Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler is dead. The last Yahtzee died in 2019. Yes, there are those ones that call them neo-Yahtzees. They believe in the ideal of that particular German party. They will never be real ones, because I guarantee you, if they were part of, or if those ones were alive during the time of the real Nazis, guess what? They would have been killed too. Because they, or all those white power tattoos and all those other things tattooed to your body would be considered a mark against Aryan perfectory before you even think about delving into this kind of shit. Elon Musk didn't do that salute. ever did, and anybody who says he did, and anybody who says that a Democrat did. You are all fucking retarded. And yes, I realize I'm calling out all the right wingers all over fucking Twitter who are like, oh, look at the right or look at the left wingers who did it. No, they didn't either. They didn't either. You're all fucking retards. And yes, I know I'm going to piss off a lot of people by saying that, but you know what? I don't care because it's an objective fact. You are held back and hindered by your own ignorance. That is what the word retard means. Held back and hindered. So yeah, when it comes to Elon Musk and this shit, I do take it kind of personally because yes, I was born in the fucking country of Germany, and two, I've been bullied mercilessly throughout my youngest years of school due to the fact of me being born there. Now, you know what? I don't hold any grudges against anybody over it. It is what it is. Kids were ignorant and they were stupid and they were bullies. But the point of the matter is it does stick with me when this sort of stuff happens, and you do want to learn as much as you can about this stuff. That is what you should do. You don't freaking go by the argument, well, all the other lefties do it. What about isms? What about isms are freaking childish tactics. If you are going to use a counter of somebody, or, well, what about this situation here? You better bring more than just, pictures that are taken out of context. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this one thing, and then we'll get our Janet's going to talk about the inauguration and other stuff. So I'll turn it over to Janet. Welcome to Orange Hat Uncensored too, by the way.
Here, buddy.
Well, that was pretty good. I mean, basically, you're right. I mean, I did see it, but I really didn't think twice about it simply because I just thought it was stupid. You know what I mean? I didn't think about bringing it up and talking about it simply because to me it was just dumbasses saying dumb shit out of their ass basically. So I didn't really pay that much attention to it, but yeah, I can see why you wanted to call that out, which you should. I mean, that's why I said if you find something you want to talk about, you should bring it up. Talk about it because that's what the shit show's for. Well, here's one of the things that I did want to talk about and get you guys' take on it and stuff is this whole thing about our new president immediately, just like he said he was going to do, sending our troops to the border. And I was real impressed at seeing all the people that were standing on the side of the road as these troops went through their, whatever area they were, and videotaping and waving. And they had flags, and it was very patriotic. I wish I'd picked a couple of those videos too. But I just wanted to show this real quick. This was a post on X that I thought was pretty good.
This morning, the first 1,500 U.S. troops are arriving at the southern border as President Donald Trump launches his long-promised crackdown on immigration. The active duty Army soldiers and Marines deployed to address what Trump declared is a national emergency. The Pentagon says the troops include military police units, combat engineers, and intelligence specialists who will aid with detection and monitoring. The military will also help construct new barriers along the border and provide air power for deportations. A senior defense official saying, "This is just the start. We are anticipating many further missions."
President,
this morning, the
thing is, we're using a resource that we're already paying for. Okay, we're already paying these people. They're in the military. They're signed up, and instead of sending them to, let's say, Ukraine or some other country to fight a war that we don't want to fight, why not let them fight in our war, which is trying to clean our country back up and getting rid of the people that are breaking the law by just being here, right? I think it's genius. I'm thankful that he's doing what he said he would do, and he's also giving all these young people that are in the military a purpose, and for people to wave at our military and say thank you, right? I think it's going to benefit our whole country simply for the fact he's bringing us together. He's getting us to want to root for our troops again, things like that. Anything that's going to make the military look good or help our troops, I'm all for. As Bruce knows, he's heard me say that many times, but I really do believe that. So, what do you guys' point of view on what he's done so far with the troops and the and he's deploying them too
So far,
to North Carolina
I love it.
and California. So far,
California,
so
North
far, I
Carolina,
love what he's
getting-
doing with
Yeah.
the raids. But yeah, so far I love what he's doing. The state of emergency is actually a better benefit or a bigger benefit than a lot of people realize, because under a state of emergency, he can do a lot more than just what he's doing currently. The state governors of the blue states that are sanctuary states and whatnot, they honestly have no idea of just how far Trump could take this. Because one, New York State, and I looked this up. I actually did my research and I looked this up. When it comes to impeding federal, and when it comes to a state of emergency and national security and whatnot, federal laws supersede state laws. And during a state of emergency, which is what has been declared due to the southern border, if Kathy Hochul, my state's governor, says or tries to stop ICE from going in any shape, way, or manner, she could be arrested and she could be charged. Now, there are Boston is currently being raided. For those who do not know, Boston is being raided. And the people are bitching at the government about it.
Yeah,
they are actually. Yeah, sorry about that. Yep. Sorry, but yeah, they are actually whining and bitching about it. They can't do anything about it. All they can do is sit back and let ICE do what they're doing. Because here's the thing. Tom Homan's not kidding. You get in their way, you are under arrest. And what Boston is doing is they're like, okay, we won't stop you, but we don't have to help you. Well, okay, fine. Get the fuck out of the way and don't ever complain when we start busting into the schools, when we start busting into the other places and taking illegals out of here. Now, yes, Homan is also prioritizing the most dangerous people. They put out there that they'll go after anyone trying to go against them with full power of law, governors, mayors, whoever. Exactly. And that is what I love. And I am hoping that somebody actually does make the mistake of going against the federal government. That one of the governors or mayors or whoever, I'm honestly betting that the mayor of Chicago will be the first arrest. I'm actually betting that the mayor of Chicago will be the first arrest. Because that guy is just a dumb idiot. He was literally only elected because he was black. That's not me being racist. That's objective fact. They had two very big progressives during that election who believed in the same stuff, and they picked the black guy over the white guy. And it's like, you idiots. And,
yeah, there are morons here.
Look at what happened.
They had Lori Lightfoot, which is the biggest joke in the world. It's like she looked like I don't know, a retarded chihuahua.
Well, Bruce, I thought Bruce was trying to say something a while ago. So, Bruce, go ahead. You got the floor now.
Well, I'm really digging what's gone on here all this week. We've got so much winning going on with the military right now. I'm looking forward to what we're gonna do with that piece of shit, Mark Miley. I want to know if we're gonna, throw him back in uniform and just court-martial the shit out of him, because he fucking deserves that. I mean, after what he did to the military and after he fucking completely took the nuts out of the military, I want to see the guy go down to Leavenworth and just break a few rocks for, a couple decades. Spend his retirement, aching and breaking, making big things and small things, and then just eventually his shoulder goes away, because that's what's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to all the winning. Right now, we've got Mitch McConnell, that's a piece of shit, and he voted against Pete Hegseth. But you know what? JD Vance stepped in and brought the 51-50 tiebreaker vote. So we've got a new Secretary of Defense, which I'm so happy and proud about. I love seeing E4 Mafia win. I can't wait. I'm having a good week. This is possibly, even though I've worked so little this week, the best week I've ever had.
It has been. I have been. I dropped a box on my foot. I thought I broke my foot, but I've still not been in a bad mood. I have been streaming because I've had to keep my foot up and stuff. And I'm just listening to these dumbasses ask all these stupid ass questions that have nothing to do with anything about their job. It's all about, are you going to say no to Trump? Are you going to do this to Trump? Trump already did this and Trump already did that. And he's going to be full of shit and whatever. And then they constantly said stuff that wasn't true. A person saying something about another person doesn't make it a fact, right? Yep. I could say, my sister has black roots and dyes her hair blonde. I could say that, but guess what? She's a natural blonde. So that would be a lie. But who else would know?
Well, okay, you've got 3 other sisters too.
Do what?
You got 3 other sisters too, so we don't know which sister you're talking about.
Well, if I mention their name, just like with what I'm saying is that they're standing up there and they're saying all these things that you're seeing. Remember on Twitter and Facebook and stuff before, when you would say something and they would say you can't say that, but they could say whatever they wanted and nobody did anything, right? It was all one-sided. That's all I've heard on all the different people. I don't care who it was, Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth, any of these people, every single one of them, they bashed them and made them sound like they were nothing but gutter tripe, whatever. And it was like, how can they stand up there and be senators, elected people, and say drivel that came from like National Enquirer, and they're allowed to do that, even with no facts. It's just something somebody said.
Here's the fact. Here's the fact. Yeah. You had President Trump take the oath of office this Monday at noon. Mm-hmm. This Friday at noon was 4 days completed. Mm-hmm. 4 days. Full days. 4 full days. Mm-hmm. Trump has done more in 4 days than Biden did in 4 years. The impact...
He answered more questions.
Yes.
Ruben.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He answered more questions than anybody's ever answered. The thing is that, and again, even today, his schedule was so fluid. The fact that he went to North Carolina, then he went to LA. You had Benny Johnson covering it, but then you had all the poll reporters were going after it. And there was reports now that the reporters are tired from today. He's too much.
Do you see that on one of the live streams I did today, when Trump landed or he was in North Carolina, right. And he said, I'm getting ready to fly in Air Force One to California to go look at the fires. He said, if any of you want to join me, which he was talking to the press people, you're welcome to join me, which means he invited them to get on Air Force One and fly to California. Guess how many got on there with him? None.
0.
None?
Okay. None. None of the people that were there at that time asking all these questions. So he did have his own personal press person, I guess, that follows along with him and stuff, but nobody got on the plane with him. So they were already worn out too. So the thing is that everyone that said, oh, he's too old, he doesn't sleep with his wife, she's just eye candy, all these lies about him. I'm telling you right now, Trump is on the go because he has a woman that actually loves him and that wants to be by his side. She's been with him for days. And today he wasn't wearing a tie. He was just all dressed down. He had an overcoat, was warm looking, and his wife was all snug and warm looking, and she was with him the whole day. She was right by his side, supporting her husband, smiling and greeting people, doing all the things that we expect from a wonderful first lady. And I was so proud of them. The last 4 days, I guess it's been 4 days since I've been doing all these streams on X and Rumble, but I've been doing it because I wanted people to see the questioning and stuff about how these people are confirmed. And it's all bias. It's completely right down the middle. There isn't a single Democrat that's going to vote for anyone. I don't care who they are. They could be Jesus Christ superstar, but if they're there because Trump asked them to be there, they're going to say this. This is what they're doing. This is all they've done. They have nothing else. They just stand up there and throw tripe after tripe and dribble and lies, and it's disgusting. And what made me feel so good today was when he went to California and he sat there with that stupid mayor, the dumbass grin on her face, with all those people standing there that just lost everything. And she's like, it's going to take 18 months. It's going to be this, blah, blah, blah. But when he was saying they should be able to get on the property right now, if they want to go there tomorrow, you should let them.
18 hours and 18 months.
Okay. And she was like, going, she didn't know what to say. And I'm going to play that in just a minute, that video, and you're going to love it. The Karen, I mean, this woman was a total idiot. Okay. And they voted for her. So I'm hoping these people are going to see the difference between the truth and, it makes me feel good. So let's do this. That is not the truth. That is just like, today I feel good. I feel like a woman. Now, tomorrow I feel like a guy, but today I feel like a woman. I mean, it's just ridiculous bullshit. You know what I mean? So I'm going to share this next video, which I think is really good, to give you guys an idea of how Trump is making these people look like the dumbasses they really are, all by just sitting there and telling the truth. That's all he has to do. That's what's so awesome about it. Is that you tell the truth and shit gets done and people will see it. Is this the right one? Oh God, I'm so bad at this shit. I think this is it, but I'm not sure. Oh God. I think, is this one? I think this is it. So let me see. Yes, thank God I clicked on the right one. I'm trying to get better. Okay, here we go. This is great. Wait, let me go back. I gotta go back. Let me make it small again. Okay, it says, watch as President Donald Trump confronts Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass live on national television, accusing her of lying about the response to the devastating fires in Pacific Palisades, California. The fires, which occurred over 2 weeks ago, destroyed thousands of homes and businesses, leaving residents desperate for action. During the exchange, Trump demanded that residents be allowed to begin cleaning their land immediately, declaring they should be able to start clearing their land tonight. Mayor Bass initially agreed, responding with a yes. However, Trump called her out, asserting that her statement was false, as victims are still forbidden from accessing their own property. God, it was so good. Damn, it feels good to finally see these people eat crow, which they deserve. Because when you treat people like that and lie about it on national TV, you should be called out. And I hope Trump does this every single week.
Fast as we can, but we want you to be safe. We want you back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yes, and they can.
You should let them do it, because by the time you hire contractors, it's going to be 2 years.
If a family,
people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out,
and they can.
There's not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And it's just going to take a long time. If you do, you can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours. And that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract that's going to charge him $25,000 to do his lot. I think you have emergency powers just like I do. And I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed
I
an
mean, you have a
emergency
very
letter.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can.
Oh, what an idiot.
Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people
time.
to be safe.
Fuck off, cunt.
They're safe.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
safe. You know what? They're not
Just
safe. They're
dumb.
not safe now.
That's
They're going to be much safer.
Jesus fucking Christ.
A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing. And I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit. And the permit's going to take them. Everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
Last
And that was last night.
on that.
See,
It's
that
dumb.
that's what I'm talking about. And I aired all that live, and I have it
Right.
saved on my Rumble and on my X, showing her trying to cover up for her lies.
No, but she said it twice. The line that every Democrat faggot says, we want you to be safe. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. My land, I want to do whatever I want with it. It's bullshit. And they keep on doing it for your safety, for your protection. Bullshit. Put a mask on. Be an idiot.
But what was great, what you didn't get to see in that snippet, is the fact that the guy sitting next to Trump, he was agreeing with everything he said. And he started clapping 5 or 6 times during this whole thing. The people, the crowd standing around, the ones that were there wanting to get on their property, were clapping their hands. And remember, we also on this show, you and I and Orange Hat, were talking about the one gentleman that owned that cleaning business, you know, the one that went in and would clean debris out. And he said that he had those dumpsters filled with debris from the people cleaning out their own house. This was after the hurricane, remember, in Florida. And he said he was told that he had to go get those dumpsters because they weren't allowed to clean out their own shit. They had to wait until they were allowed to go into their own house and clean out the shit. And then he said, well, what am I supposed to do with the stuff in the dumpsters? And they said, dump it back in their yards. Remember, we had it right here on this show. We were showing the videos and stuff.
I know. And the biggest point of contention here.
That was in Florida. So Florida's got some problems too, not just California.
The issue there was FEMA. And he talked about FEMA. And you had some moron, Brad, whatever bitch slap motherfucker, was saying, "Whoa, you're talking bad about FEMA, blah blah blah." Fuck off, dumbass. It's some bald motherfucker. Some bullshit.
Yeah, and the thing is, he did talk about FEMA. He bashed FEMA. He was slapping it like a little redheaded stepchild all over that whole thing. It was freaking awesome. So if you guys get a chance, go and listen to it live. If you go on there, Fox, and find out where it is, whatever, or you can just watch it on my stream that's on X or on Rumble, and you can hear the whole. You just fast forward until you see Trump sit down, and then turn it on and get some popcorn and enjoy it, because I'm telling you, it's so nice to get to see Trump be Trump, the one that we voted for, because we knew he's got to be brash, bold, and have balls, basically. And he just wiping the floor with them, and I just loved it. I was just enjoying the whole thing. It was great to have a president like that. Just like what Ruben said earlier, is that he's already done in 4 days what our corpse in chief didn't do in 4 years.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just proud as shit, man. I am so happy.
You want to know
I'm not saying that 4 years was worth waiting to get this, but it sure is nice. That's all I can say is I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So, Bruce, you want to add anything?
You want to know what I like about it?
What?
Go, Orange Hat.
Can you hear us?
Go ahead,
All
Orange
right.
Hat.
Well, what I like about all of this is that I'm going. What I like about all this is that Trump is not holding back this time. He's a lot more refined from his first administration. However, when he went to California, basically called or interrupted the hell out of that mayor when she started lying and whatnot. That is the kind of leader we need. One who is going to call out the lies immediately. Because I see a lot of this stuff in the media, folks. There's a guy called Black Conservative Perspective. He does a lot of media reactions and whatnot on YouTube. And I wish that CNN would bring him on a panel with Abby Phillips and whatnot, because he would immediately just say, look, you guys are full of crap. Because another thing that's been going on is the January 6th pardons and whatnot. And all these people on the media are saying, oh, well, look at, or he pardoned all these people that attacked cops and this and that. No, he commuted their sentences. Those ones he commuted the sentences of. They still have a criminal record. The ones that were political hostages that had their violation of, or their due process rights violated, those are constitutional rights, by the way. Guess what? They were pardoned. Now everybody's like, well, he shouldn't have pardoned the violent ones. He didn't. He commuted their sentences. There's a difference. Look it up. Now, as for our Piers Morgan and whatnot, and them saying, well, he shouldn't have done anything to those ones. And it's like, look, I'm sorry. When it comes to anybody, when it comes to any sort of due process rights being violated, legally, those people cannot have those charges stick. You can't continue to charge them if you have violated their due process rights. That is a part of our laws. Trump pardoning them, honestly, he shouldn't even had to. All he should have done was say, look, I want these cases investigated. If there was any form of due process violations, then they should go free immediately. But no, it was the easy way out. People were pardoned, that's fine. But when it comes to all this stuff with Trump in his first 4 days in office, pardoning the J6ers, getting the border going and more secure, and going to the California wildfires, showing he cares, even though that state very rousingly voted against him, except for all the people who actually did vote for him. Good on you. You turned that state more red than anything, or than ever before. But also that state still went to Harris, not going to lie. But he is showing he is a president for all the people, not just Republicans. He is a president for Republicans, Democrats.
For the people.
That's what he said last time in his
remember,
administration.
he said,
for everyone.
Make America great again. He's America first. That doesn't mean Republican or Democrat or independent. It means American people. And he's proving that by everything he's doing. He's saying he cares about America and its people. So he's not trying to split anyone up. And what's so funny is the people that say they're for the people, that's all they talked about, even though they hid the laptop and they did everything to make me and you, anyone conservative, as we're the bad guy, because we think it's okay, that we think it's wrong for men to be running around with their dicks hanging out with little kids at a parade, stuff like that. I'm a terrible person because I don't believe that my kids should see a man's penis, in public and stuff like that. They tried to make me the bad guy because I wanted to have, decent stuff going on in front of children. They pointed the finger at me as I hated gays because I don't want to see men's penises. It had nothing to do with whether they're gay or not. It was the fact of what they were trying to show my family and my children, things like that. Their point of view is warped. And now we're starting to see a president that wants all of us, whether you're black, white, gay, straight, it doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with it. He wants it even. He wants it fair. If you want a job, if you go and apply for the job and you have the skill for the job, you should get the job simply on the fact that you can do the job. You know, how is that discriminatory? Why should anyone in any business hire someone simply because they got a penis or a vagina? That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. And it's nice to see common sense again in the White House, and that he means what he says. So when some terrorist group says they're going to kidnap me and kill me unless they pay money, and he just says fine and drops a bomb on them and makes it into a parking lot, great. That's how I'm looking at it. And I'm enjoying it. And it's about time we had balls again. I like that we have balls in our country, and that other countries fear us because we're going to fight back and we ain't going to take no shit.
So what you're saying is we tried to transition, but we got our dick cut off and balls got cut off, and then we had reconstruction surgery. We're back.
That's right.
America's got its balls back.
Now we're the Incredible Hulk. That's who we are. And let's see anybody mess with us, because we're taking our country back.
Well, it reminds me of the movie, what is it? Team America World Police.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They're dicks, pussies, and assholes. Sometimes you need a dick to get rid of an asshole.
So, Bruce, you want me to share that video?
Yeah, I do. I want you guys to see this fucking handshake.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. See the fucking handshake? You see that? That's a man telling a pussy, guess who's in control now, bitch? And that's the greatest thing. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. This is his hand afterwards.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that is his hand. Yeah, he didn't go to the meeting because he knew what was going to happen. He knew that Karen was going to get wiped. The floor was going to get wiped up with Karen, the mayor. You know, I just loved it. I'm sorry. And I'm a woman. I was born a woman. I've given birth. I'm a real woman. And I was happy to see that woman get slimed all over because she deserved it. She has ruined that city, basically, by being mayor, and everyone before her. So I'm hoping the next election that comes along, they're going to be looking at not whether or not she's a woman and's got a vagina, or she's wearing a pussy hat, or whatever it is. They're going to look at her qualifications and saying, is she a person that can actually run a city and make sure we have water to put fires out, you know, stuff like that.
But
maybe
they have all
start
those
looking at people for their job ability and not because they got a wee or a pee-wee. You know,
Janet, they have rainbow colored fucking fire hydrants with no water. Doesn't that count for a fucking thing?
It's sad. And I hate that all these people lost their homes, but I'm hoping that they learn something from this. And when Trump sends people in there to help them, even if he sends the National Guard, it says, hey, you've got National Guard in the state of California. How many millions of people live here? This is what he was telling her. You got to see this whole thing. This whole interview, this whole thing was freaking. It was better than any movie I've seen in a long time. It was so enjoyable. How you
handle communists.
I loved it. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm rubbing it in, because I am a little. Okay, I can't help it. I've enjoyed it a lot. But this next video that we're going to watch is really, really good. And it goes right up the alley of what we're talking about right now. And I just want to share it real quick. So give me 1 second. Yeah, I think this is it. This is pretty good. All right. Trump is fundamentally changing Washington. He's making politicians actually do their jobs. I just love it. So we got to watch this whole thing with Jesse. And let's see. Here you go.
Constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley says Trump's not making surgical strikes, but saturation bombing Washington. Obama promised to fundamentally transform America, but Trump is actually doing it. There was this myth that there was gridlock in Washington. The country was divided and change was slow. That just gave professional politicians an excuse for 3-day work weeks. They didn't want you to know real change was possible, because then we'd raise expectations and they'd have to actually do their jobs and actually represent our interests instead of their own. But now they have an excuse for their lack of action. The New York Times says it's the return of the king. Trump embraces trappings of the throne. The media wants you to think only a tyrant could get things done in D.C. They want you to think what Trump's doing is not in the American tradition. He's a wannabe dictator. No, he's not. Just because he's playing with a sword doesn't make him Napoleon. This is what it looks like when you beat 4 cases, survive 2 assassination attempts, and sweep every battleground. A president with political capital who knows how to use it with gusto and precision. Lawyer Mike Davis told the New York Times, quote, "This election was a referendum on Trump, on MAGA, and on lawfare, and the American people rendered their verdict on November 5th. He earned power, and now he's going to use it like Democrats. Democrat presidents use their power to put foreign nationals on welfare, bribe voters with college loan bailouts, and print money to dish out to donors. Democrats did all of that after their elections. They never campaigned on any of that. They tried to hide it. The difference is Trump's doing exactly what he promised to do, and the voters ratified the mission. We're living in a time of populist rebellion. Journalist Carl Zinsmeister says this: voters let loose a genuine bull into the china shop of the ruling class, those who have dominated public life for a generation, declaring that the sky is falling. Maybe their sky's falling. Maybe their time at the top's over, but yours isn't. Your time at the top is just getting started. Power is being returned to the people. No one can tell you what bank to use, what car to buy, what words to say, what food to eat, which shows to watch. We're the only ones who can get in our own way. So put your chin up and your shoulders back. Today was a good day.
100%.
Fucking love it.
That was awesome. I mean, that's all we've been asking for. Every one of us in this panel right now have all said something similar to that over the last 8 years, basically, or longer, maybe, as we've seen it slowly dwindling down to where we're getting less and less and less of the things that we always wanted in our lives. And we're working day after day after day going, when are we going to get that? When's that going to happen? When's this going to happen? You know, and shit just got more and more expensive, and we got less and less for all the hard work that we did. And finally, in one swoop, a huge red wave that engulfed this country, basically, because we were fed up to here with the bullshit. And everybody said, well, you know, voting doesn't really, there's no such thing as voting. That doesn't work. There's no such thing. It doesn't work because it's all rigged. It's always rigged. And I said, well, that's what everyone thought until they got fed up thinking that Hillary Clinton was going to be our president. And what happened? They showed up in record numbers and broke the algorithm. There were so many votes, they couldn't cheat enough. And look this time, look how much they cheated, because it took them days and days and days to count the votes, and it still wasn't enough, because enough people got off their ass because they were fed up enough to go and vote. And look, it made a difference. That's what I've been saying. You work the polls, you actually go and you work, and you can see how it works, that it is fair. It is fair. It will work, and people can have the real right counting their one vote, and it makes a difference if enough people go there and work. Just like I said, the only way we're going to take back our country is by us taking it back, which means getting off our ass and doing something. Okay. And we did it. And now we can't quit. Okay. It's just starting. We have to back Trump. We have to help him be successful by sharing when he does these types of interviews, so everyone, as many people as possible, can see it unfolding and seeing the truth in front of them. When we do that, we're going to keep winning. I can't help it. Rubbing it in a little. I'm enjoying it. So, Bruce, did you want to say something?
Now you guys are covering this pretty good. I find something, I'll jump right the fuck in there.
Okay,
I'll be like,
good. 'Cause you have to. You have to jump in. That's how it works. Because you're not going to get awarded edgewise if you don't.
I understand.
I'm not trying to be mean or anything. But hold on. I'm trying to make sure I'm not deleting anything. Okay, I did this one already. All right. Let's see. What's this one? Oh, here's the other one I wanted to play a while ago, but it's a little bit, I messed up a little bit because I was supposed to do this one first, but oh well, it's okay. This one's more about the deportation stuff, deporting people. But this one's about the whole thing with it says the whole thing with the Catholic Church mess that we saw. So here we go. Get you guys. Remember, we were talking about it before the show started. Here we go.
I want to ask one final question. The Pope this week said that it's a disgrace what we're now doing with this new government, deporting all of these people. We've got, obviously there's going to be a lot of media searching for the sad stories here, trying to turn public opinion against this operation. What's your message to the American people as you guys do this work?
Well, let me give a message to the Pope guy. I'm a lifelong Catholic. I was born Catholic. I've been through Catholic doctrine. Look, he only concentrates on fixing the Catholic Church, first of all. He's got big problems there. In the Vatican, they have a wall around the Vatican. If you illegally enter the Vatican, the crime is serious. You'll be charged with a serious crime, be jailed.
Yeah.
So he can protect the Vatican where he lives. He can build a wall where he lives. Where American people are not allowed that? No. Securing the border saves lives. He needs to understand that. When we secure the border, when less people come, less women get raped by the cartel, less children die in the river, less Americans die from fentanyl overdoses. He ought to stick to it. He ought to stick to the Catholic Church and fix that. That's a mess.
That's exactly right. And we did the details on the wall that's around the Vatican, and it's even nicer than Trump's wall. For as much as Trump likes his wall, the wall around the Vatican is really, really impressive. Tom Homan, good to see you, sir. We appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's take a live picture if we can real quick just to see what we've got going on in the Palisades. Do we have it?
Okay. Well, I wanted you to hear that because earlier we saw what happened when Trump went to church and got basically blasted by the little person that was running the sermon. And I was saying, well, I don't think, was that her own church? Wasn't that her own church? Wasn't she put there? And the fact that she said some of the things that she said was wrong, but I've heard the Pope say those things. And people were saying, I never heard the Pope say that. But basically, the Pope has been defending all the same stuff that you heard that woman say to Trump and his family while they were sitting in the pews. So they seriously need to sit down with other people and start making the choice of whether or not they're going to keep letting that kind of stuff be the rhetoric that leads their religion. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm having a hard time with the stuff that this Pope has been spewing the last few years.
If I may.
Go ahead.
Now, I am not somebody who is overly religious, folks. You all know this if you've paid attention to me. However, I do know a little bit of religious doctrine. And one of the things of the Christian religion is their stance on women and the church. It is very important to them. And here's the thing. There are no women bishops. There are no women priests. There are no women who basically has that duty. It is against church doctrine. The fact that this Pope stands for any of the stuff that woman did or said is a disgrace. The fact that this guy says, oh, what Trump is doing is a disgrace and Trump's border wall is a disgrace. Yeah, how about that big fucking wall that's that's surrounding Vatican City? You fucking piece of shit hypocrite. Yeah, folks, I said that about the Pope. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is the worst fucking Pope I have ever seen in my living lifetime. And while I may not be religious, I do believe in God. I do pray. I am baptized Catholic. I am not a practicing Catholic. But I would tell you right now, I would not follow this Pope because this is a pope that basically has gone so much against the Bible that I am surprised he has not burst into flames whenever he steps foot in the Vatican.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, him saying, "Oh, Trump is a disgrace," dude, you are a literal disgrace to Christ's name. And I am not that religious, but I will say that about this Pope. You are a disgrace to to whom you serve for backing or
it's
for
sad though
involving
that
yourself.
it's sad though that we haven't seen a lot of people in that religion calling out their pope. Now that's why I wanted to show that one video, because that gentleman was a Catholic and he was calling out his pope. So that's what I was saying. It's inspiring that we're seeing more and more people that are willing to speak out against things that they see and know are wrong, and it goes against their own beliefs. So if we start standing up and taking back our towns and our states, we're going to take back the federal government. And that's what I've been saying for 4 years. That's the only way we're going to win. And to see this starting to come out and all this, because people are being inspired about fighting for what they believe. And what happened with anything with religion, if a person's not willing to stand up and say, I'm a Christian, or I believe in this, or I believe in that, whatever it is that you're being asked to hide, okay? Just like we're saying, how come people in Hollywood don't speak out against this or against that? And they don't because they're afraid they're going to get a job. Well, honestly, do you really want that job if you're willing to do anything and let other bad things happen to other people simply because you're not willing to stand up against something? Well, guess what? I lost lots of work. I could be making more money. I might have gotten a good part and become famous overnight, but I didn't, because I wasn't going to be the one that's going to be bending over a desk or doing other things totally against who I was, simply because I wanted a few extra dollars and maybe see my name in lights. You know what I mean? It went against who I was, so I didn't do it. But guess what? Lots of people did. And I watched lots of people that stand up there, and a lot of people I know personally, they think, oh, he's awesome, or he's great, or that's a great person. I can't stand them. Okay. I will never go up and shake their hand. I will never ask for their picture. I'll never ask for their autograph, because I've seen what they're like behind the scenes, and you won't see me applauding those people. And that's who I am. So to me, I don't care if someone offered me $1 million to lie about someone I care about or someone I knew, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. It's not worth $1 million. My soul is not for sale. And that's just who I am. And people that get to know me, that finally do get to see me and have conversations with me, know that's me. And I could live in a trailer house and be just as happy as if I was in a 4-bedroom nice house with 3 bathrooms. I really could, because it's not the building that's around you, it's what's in it. Okay, it's what you have in that building that means something. And like all my little knickknacks and things that I look at that gives me joy, someone else will look at it and say it's trash. But guess what? I don't care. I like it. I like looking at it. I like picking up and reading it and touching it and playing with it, putting puzzles together or whatever it is. Just like you should be able to enjoy what you enjoy doing. And no one should have the right to take that from you simply because they don't understand you or they don't know you. So be you and enjoy the people around you that enjoy you just for you being who you are, and relish in that, because right now is the beginning of that. Just like you said, a golden age. That's where we're at. We're in an age where people are going to start being accepted for who they are, and you're not going to have to lie and make up stories or pretend to be something you're not just to get something from someone else. And hopefully we're going to see that happening through the whole country. I'm really excited about it, because I think that's where we're headed. And I'm I'm shocked by it. I mean, I see it's happening, but it's like a dream still. You know, it's taken a little bit to start sinking in, but I'm relishing it. I'm relishing it a lot.
There's been a lot of bad pope through time, Hardwick. This guy here is probably the one that we can point to most recent shitty pope that has been in office. But there's a lot of Catholics that are out there that do not agree with his edicts. They don't agree with his politics. They're more nationalistic than they're religious based. I mean, they like freedom. They like being nationalistic. But when you have a pope out there that's saying, open your doors, let convicted murderers and rapists come in your house and kill your wife and kids, let them stab your daughters or rape your sons, that's really not a good pope. I don't understand where this guy got affirmed through. I don't know how he made it through all the ranks, but it's just a sign that the church is not infallible. The church is ran by men. The church does not admire Christ. It doesn't know what the face of God looks like. It has lost respect for what it's supposed to represent. It will change. It's in the process of change. Everything ebbs and flows, and you'll see in some point in the future, you'll see good people inhabit good positions again. It's the same thing with politics. Just give it time. We're in the middle of a transitional phase, and I hate saying that because I don't want the fucking T crowd to get all happy talking about transition, because we're not talking about those stupid fucking ideas. Anyway.
But just what you just said, okay, when he got accepted and voted in, you got to remember all those people that spent all that time with him, he may not have said these things to them, but he's Pope now and he thinks he's God. He thinks he can say and do whatever he wants now because he is a Pope. See what I mean?
Fine.
All these politics
however he
do the
wants.
same thing. You know what I mean? Because you have a person run for office and they'll say, oh, I care about kids in school and I care about this and I care about that. We've all been duped. We've all voted for somebody or been in a relationship with someone and we find out, what the hell am I doing?
I voted for Bush. Okay.
Okay.
Did you see that little faggot this week? Did you see him not looking so happy and cheerful when Trump was getting sworn in? That was the greatest awakening I've had from man. I put him in power. Fuck me. I can't believe that. But I didn't like Al Gore either. I mean, that was either choice was shitty. I don't want anybody like McCain getting in because McCain already has his pawns in place. He was ready to take over the fucking military industrial complex. Fuck that guy. And I can't wait to piss on his grave. But man, I don't like fucking Bush. Fuck that guy.
No, a lot of people were duped by the Bushes. So, we all have to realize that we give somebody a chance. Okay. You give them a chance. And if they step all over you and then you take them back, then you're probably going to get stepped all over again. Okay. But the thing is, once you've done it once and you learn from it and you move on, then you've learned something and you're going to learn from this mistake, hopefully not do it again. So let's hope that a lot of people, once they've, just like I've been saying, if you see transparency and we have a president that comes out every week and he does a speech or whatever, and he's talking about what's going on, he's very verbal about what's going on and he lays it all out there. And then you get another president that never does a speech, never talks, never tells anything. And we're asking questions and everybody's saying later, 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 maybe later, maybe later. You're going to get sick of it. Okay. So people aren't going to accept it the next time because we want open and we want to be able to see what's going on. We want to hear the facts. We want to find out the information, right? And that's another thing. He released all that information about JFK assassination and about the, what was it? I'm trying to remember the other two things. Two other things that he released.
RFK, MLK, JFK.
and MLK.
Yeah. Okay. So he released a bunch of other stuff. Yeah. So he needs to, you need to look into that. I thought I had it pulled up, but I don't see it. But the thing is that he did a lot of stuff. He signed a lot of executive orders about all types of things, about redrilling. He renamed the Gulf of America now. okay, for the federal government. And a lot of people said they're not gonna follow that's bullshit or whatever. That's fine. But the thing is, he's doing what he thinks is right for this country, and we voted for him. Okay. So, and if we don't like what he's doing, we have to tell him. If we don't like something he's doing, just say, hey, we don't like that. We don't want you to do that. Don't do that. And I think he'll listen to you. I think he'll listen to us, because it seems like he's listening, because you saw him in that news group of people in California. He listened to what the people were saying standing in front of their house. He's paying attention to what's going on. At least it seems like he's trying to make an effort. That's more than what we're used to, someone making an effort. We're not used to that, but it sure is going to get nice. And are you going to want to give that up? Are you going to want to go back to what it was during Obama or Biden? Do you want that again? No.
I lived in Illinois for 30 years. I'm ready for this. Don't fucking get in my way. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and that's what's good, because I don't think people are going to go back. People are not going to let it go back, at least not in our generation. Maybe in 2 generations, like our grandchildren, okay? They might become complacent and start like, because they're too busy on their phones or whatever it is. The thing is, it's not going to be us, see? And anyone in this space that's right now or in the chat are people that are going to want what we're seeing. Once we see truth and we see how things can really be, why would we go back to that? We're not. And that's why I'm hoping more and more people's eyes open and they see the changes that we have now, that we don't want to go back to the bullshit. I don't. I think we should, we're all adults and we're all grown-ups. We can handle truth. We can handle facts. We can live with it, and we can adjust our lives to fit whatever the facts are to the best of our ability. Just like what President Trump said, people are willing to pull their sleeves up and go and clean their own property up because they are willing to get back in there and get their house rebuilt. We don't want to stand around and twiddle our thumbs waiting for the government to do everything for us and must pay through the nose for that. That's what they're hating. That's why they didn't want Trump to be president, because they knew that once Trump got in and people saw what it was like to be able to do things for themselves and have no red tape, it's all gone. That's what they're worried about, because now they're going to have to start making changes in their state, because the people aren't going to put up with all this bullshit. That's what he's afraid of. That's what they were afraid of, and why they were afraid of him.
I only got one thing to say.
Go ahead. Yep, that's exactly right. I feel like that. I mean, that's how I felt. I feel like that now.
I want to get a bald eagle and carry him. Let's go, bald eagle. Let's fly. Just kidding.
Yeah, I did that the other day. In between the other day, my second day I was doing streaming. I think it was Tuesday, I guess. Tuesday. I in between the talking of the people, asking questions and everything for the confirmation hearings, I was playing bald eagles on the nest, flying back and forth as the babies got bigger and stuff, doing a live stream, from wherever the bald eagle's nest was. I think it was in California somewhere, but I was doing that. I was like, this is a symbol of our country, blah, 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 giving a little bit of information on bald eagles and stuff and how long it takes to sit on the eggs and doing all that stuff in between. And it was pretty nice. I liked it. But the thing is that it's in our lap now. It's the ball's in our court, and either we can kick the can down the road and let someone else deal with it, or we can
they've been doing for the last fucking 6 decades.
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying.
Fucking 13 or before.
Yep.
Nah, we're good. We're good.
And that's what I'm saying.
4 years. We got 4 years to rip apart everything Washington's become.
Mm-hmm.
We have 4 years to make Illinois stand on its own and collapse. We have 4 years to make Californians Eat their words. We're the fourth largest economy in the world. Yeah, watch this, nigger. We're gonna fucking take your Hollywood and we're gonna fucking just shit all over it. It's done. It's fucking over.
Okay, let's see. This is another thing that I thought was
2
interesting.
years, by the
I
way.
bring it up.
Not
Do what?
2. The midterms are not guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, 2
Nothing's
years.
guaranteed. But I think we have 4 years to completely destabilize what they have.
Yeah, I think so. But this was something I thought was pretty interesting. A friend of mine named Santino, he says it's CIA documents that reveal why the deep state has always feared release of the RFK assassination files. It's about a 12-page report. It's really a lot of information in this whole thing, and you can go through it and read all this. But I'm going to share the link for it. It's pretty interesting. If you want to take a little time and sit down and read, if you have some time, you should. I think you should try to read every single thing that was released that's now been declassified and released by President Trump. I think it's important that you read it, because if we know facts about what they did, okay, when he's talking, this one here is from the 1960s, early 60s, about the whole false flag operation that supposedly our government did to before blaming Cuba. So this was so that they could get into that war. Basically, they were using this. They used lies to get the people, us, to believe that they were trying to protect us when they weren't. And what was it? Was it Bruce? Was you the one that said that they make a problem so they can come in and fix it?
Yeah, problem, reaction, solution. That's all it's always been.
That's exactly what this whole story is all about. I don't really want to read it right now.
I mean, it's been summarized so much before. Anybody who's paid attention to conspiracy theorists, i.e., oracles, as I call them, they already know how the story ends.
Mm-hmm.
And either the story could end one of two ways. Either the masses wake up and say, enough, we're done. Kind of like what we have a hint that could happen after November 5th. That was awesome. Thank you for voting the way you did, guys. Or they could get fatigued by bombardment by the media. And if they don't ignore the mainstream media, they will get fatigued. No matter how strong we feel January 1st, January 24th, no matter how good we feel in March, no matter how great we are on April 15th, when everybody is allowed to voice your discontent about the IRS being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
2 years, like what Orange Hat just said, if in 2 years the mainstream media, they get the message across that we need to go back to a pre-Trump existence, people will vote stupidly. People will vote like sheep. And I am so hoping and praying that so many people have been awakened to the evils that have been leached upon society, that people can see what's been loosed upon us. And we can now see that there's a lot of heads of this hydra we got to cut off. And you're going to fucking get tired, because it will feel like for every head I cut off, 2 more pop up. Keep cutting. You have to keep cutting. You have to keep working at this, because this didn't happen overnight. This is something that's been an effort, a piece of progress of theirs ever since this country's become a thing. They don't like the agenda. People do not like this experiment in freedom that this country has become. They don't want this to be a message to the world that you all could live this way. There's not enough boot on our throats, according to them. And they want it to go back. They're going to fight like hell for the next 2 years. It's up to us to decide if we want to live like this, like free people, or at least like people that want to be free people, or if we'd rather go back to subservience. I'm here for laughs. I'm also here for the fucking getting bloody as shit. I'm happy with that thought.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And what Hardwicki was just saying is that they haven't all been released yet. but they're getting released. He's supposedly signed everything and got it ready to be released. But every time when they are released, I think everyone needs to read them. I think even us diving into some of the information would be really good, because most people said, well, it doesn't really matter because what's it changed? What it's going to change isn't the fact that it stopped anything or anyone's going to go to prison. It's the fact that we know the facts, and hopefully we won't let that kind of stuff happen again. You see what I mean? So go ahead, Orange Hat.
Oh, it's not going to change anything. Here's the thing. They waited until everybody who was involved with the JFK assassination was dead to declassify this. Because here's what the truth is, folks, or is suspected the truth is. The truth is that what happened could possibly destabilize our nation. That is why the JFK files were, at the time, the most protected files in our national security. Only 5, count them 5, people ever had access at any time to the files, meaning president and 4 others. So yeah, when they are declassified, I am going to do the TLDR version and just find, or I want to know who is ultimately responsible for the death of JFK. I mean, yes, everybody can say, oh, well, we already know who it is. It's the government. No, we cannot state for 100% certainty that it was. However, yes, we can strongly suspect. But I want to know for certain, 100% certain. I also want to know who's responsible for RFK. And yes, I do want to know who's responsible for Martin Luther King Jr. Because Martin Luther King Jr., as much as everybody says, well, the FBI did it. Well, here's the thing. I sort of like Martin Luther King Jr. because I was raised on one of his doctrines, which is do not judge people by the color of their skin, rather the content of their character. Now, yes, that is a paraphrase. But the point is, these historical figures, we have a right to know who is responsible for the deaths of these figures. Now, if our government is responsible for political assassinations and presidential assassinations, by a president releasing the classified status will ultimately hinder the rather shocking, what's the best way to say this, crisis of faith in our government. Because there is already a crisis of faith in our government due to the Biden administration. By having the JFK files and whatever they may contain, declassified, and whatever they learned, because remember, Trump said, or was talking to a guy, he's like, look, I wanted to do it during my first administration. However, if you knew what I know after looking at that file, you wouldn't even declassify it. There are things in that file that actually scared Trump. Think about that.
Yeah.
As strong as this man is.
Yeah, but he's still releasing it.
Now he knows because, yes, he actually said, yeah, I wanted to. And they said, look, this is why we shouldn't. And he agreed. But now that 8 years have passed, he is like, okay, I think people are ready. Especially now that everybody connected to the whole thing is pretty much dead or too old to serve jail or prison time. So, yeah.
I bet you they're going to blame Trump for
JFK,
RFK, and Loki's death.
Well,
no,
maybe.
What they are going to do is, if it turns out that, what's his name? Lee Harvey Oswald isn't responsible. I think that Trump should posthumously pardon Lee Harvey Oswald.
Maybe that is why he decided to do the release the way he's doing it. There might be something to that. You know what I mean? About what you're saying. Because we got to remember also the pardon that the way he stated, some of the ways he talked about the pardons he just did, it wasn't so much for giving them their, anything back, their property, anything. It was their legacies, you know what I mean? Their future, their families and stuff, to have that stain on their legacy, which shouldn't be there because they didn't do it. They didn't do something. They didn't do what they're being blamed for. Just like I've said over and over again, not one person has been arrested for and put in prison for insurrection. Not one person, but they still constantly call it an insurrection. And then the fact that Biden steps down right after he pardons everyone that convicted all these people of a fake insurrection. I mean, that all of that, remember all the stuff they were saying about Trump, he's a crook and he's a wannabe king and all this different stuff, and how he's going to use lawfare against all of them the whole time while they're doing exactly that to Trump after 4 years of them hiding the laptop and doing all this different underhanded shit. And all of us sitting there going, because we're shocked that they're getting away with it, because we can see it as plain as the nose on our face that they were all full of shit and that they were lying and conniving and doing all this stuff. And just like Trump said, all the documents that they used and hid, and the videos they hid, all the different stuff that they had not let the people defend themselves with, because some of them hadn't even gone to trial yet, and they'd been in jail for years. It's all destroyed. Trump said all of it's been destroyed. That he couldn't use it against them because there is no evidence now that they destroyed it. So I don't know what they're going to do about that whole mess. The thing is that they were burning. They had bonfires going on every night. The closer and closer it got to election, they knew they were going to burn. So they had to do something. That's why they tried to kill them. That's why they try to get rid of them, because that was their only way out. And I kept saying they're going to try to kill them because they're running out of options.
Which is fine.
They even kicked their old man to the curb and tried to run the lady with the knees that are so dark from being on her knees 24/7 to get the positions that she got, to let her run as president. That's how desperate they were. These people were grasping at everything, and they couldn't throw Hillary out there because Hillary is nothing but a big bag of bones now herself. She can barely walk.
Okay. Hillary doesn't have the health to make it. First off, she wears that shit. She wears those ugly outfits to conceal all the bags, all the cables, all the wires, all the tubes. She's fucking cyber. She's got like 18% cybernetics, pumps, artificial shit in her. Okay, she's living the RoboCop dream right now.
Yeah,
and she's still trying to stagger on and keep pushing. And she's begging for a chance to show that she still has what it takes. So don't say her name too loud. I don't want her getting
Hildebeest. That's what I call her. And whenever I talk about her or post anything about her on YouTube, I just call her Hildebeest because I just can't stand that woman. She is such a disgusting piece of shit. And I know she's had people murdered. I guarantee it.
Well, there have been people. There have been people saying that she's going to run in 2028, and it's like, here's the thing, Hillary. If you run in 2028, no. Here's what I would do if I was the mainstream media. Well, if I was Fox anyway, because we all know that the others won't do this. But she runs 2028. This is what I would do. Hillary Clinton is running in 2028 because she realized she could never beat Donald Trump. And now that Trump can't run for office again, they obviously cannot or she's obviously going to be able to run and think she's going to have it easier. The problem is, Hillary, if this is a successful presidency and administration, which it will be, I do have full faith and confidence that it will be.
And
they will,
banned.
or don't get me wrong,
run.
They will be fighting. they will be fighting tooth and nail to sabotage his presidency. They're already trying it. But the point is, J.D. Vance, with the success of this administration, will have an even greater chance to become president in 2028 if he decides to run. That is what they are hoping will happen. Vivek Ramaswamy recently, I mean, I actually, if Trump wasn't the candidate, I would have went with Vivek. But a lot of people are like, well, what about the H-1B visas thingies? And I'm like, I believe that would be challenged by the Supreme Court. They would have to investigate it thoroughly, because just like Donald Trump with the end birthright citizenship thing, he's not doing that because he actually wants to have it happen. He wants, I mean, maybe he does. I can't speak for him and I won't speak for him. But I am guessing he is doing that as a political ploy so that it will be challenged. He wants it to be challenged so that it can be directly looked at by the Supreme Court, so that it can be thoroughly investigated by the Supreme Court, and so that they can finally decide whether or not it was ever intended for immigrants to come into our country, have a kid so that they could stay here without the legal process. Honestly, and I say this as a person who was born to American parents and had dual citizenship, but I am an American citizen.
Me too.
Here's the thing. I do believe that anchor babies should not be constitutionally protected.
I was going to say something about that. Just think about this. If you have your house and you're having a barbecue, okay, you're going to have a big gathering and a bunch of people are going to be coming over. Some people you don't know, they're invited by other people, right? And a woman that's 9 months pregnant comes to your house and she's in your living room and she falls to the ground and gives birth. Does that mean she owns your home or that baby owns your property? See?
Nope.
No, they just happened to be there when they had a baby. That's all it means. It shouldn't mean any more than that. And, and I wasn't born here. I was born not even on a military base either. I was born in another country, and I have a birth certificate with a whole bunch of other papers stapled to it to prove who I am, that I was an American citizen, because my parents were American citizens and I just happened to be born in another country. But I'm still American, and I love this country, and I'll die for this country. I really would. And I don't believe that a person just coming over the border and then popping out a baby gives them the right to become an American citizen. I really don't. But if the law ends up saying that's what it is, then I will follow the law. I'll do it that way if that's what it says. But honestly, when Trump was talking to Gavin Newsom and stuff about getting help for the people in California, one of the things he did mention, it's in that thing that popped in my head again, is the fact that he said something about if you make some changes to make sure that a person has to have voter ID and some other things, was what he was pushing about wanting for federal funds. You're going to have to make some changes. And that was one of the things that he brought up. Now, I don't know if he legally can do that shit. I don't know, but I just thought it was great. So what he's doing, whether it's legal or not, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that he's saying what we all want to say. And he's got the balls to be able to say it. Now, whether or not he can make it a law or he can write an executive order or whatever, because you can't, it's a state. Okay. But he can withhold federal funds from a state if they are not doing something that he considers something federal, which is presidential election, and not making sure that they're an American citizen before they vote. So he can do that. So we'll see what happens. But if he's very mouthy about all this stuff and he constantly talks about it every chance he has, especially when he's invited to their state by the people, he's going to say it. And hopefully it'll wake up enough people to say, yeah, what's wrong with it asking for ID? because I saw a young man doing a documentary, and he had a clipboard, and he was walking around, and he would approach Black people, and he was saying, can I ask you a few questions? And they would say, sure. And he goes, because you're Black, is it harder for you to be able to get a driver's license? He was asking these questions, and they were saying, no, that's ridiculous. And he goes, well, this so-and-so Black person that's in California or Georgia, different people that were running for office were saying that it was hard for Black people to be able to get ID. So they couldn't ask for ID to prove that you were going to vote. And they were every single person he interviewed said the exact same thing. That's ridiculous. If I have to have a driver's license to be able to drive in my state, and I have to have a driver's license to buy cigarettes in my state, why would I not want a driver's license to prove who I am when I vote? So basically it's all stupid. And the thing is Hillary Clinton can't get people to vote for her now, because most of those people that aren't brainwashed and are actually looking at the facts now, their eyes are opening. Okay, they're changing, as is proven with the votes. It's proven that people are waking up. She wouldn't be able to get away with any of the stuff that she's trying to promote. Okay,
No, we've said her name 5 times, and we haven't said Vince Foster once. We need to remember Vince Foster and all the damage his body suffered in a suicide attempt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think Orange Hat might have the stats on that.
There's quite a few people that
on what?
On how Hillary Clinton. Foster died. Was it the multiple stabbings, the bow and arrow shot he did to himself? Was it the multiple gunshot wounds he endured in his back? How did he commit suicide? Vince Foster. Oh, we remember you, sir. Worst case of suicide.
Yeah, and Epstein, he committed suicide too. All right, there's a lot of people that committed suicide supposedly that might have something interesting on on the Clintons.
I was just expecting you to have the information on that, because Orange Hat, you just come across as a guy that, like, when you find something that's like, that's not right, you write it down, you make a note of it, it gets chiseled, and it's by your desk when you stream. And that's just one of those things that I apologize. I thought you knew more about Vince Foster.
No. I don't know much about him, but if it's something that interests me to the point where it will needle me if it's wrong, yes, I will do something like that. Well, not chisel it to my desk, but I will definitely write it down. But I am semi-political. I'm just not as political as everybody else. I do believe that there's things that need to happen in this country, but I also am sure that I'm also reading John M's. It's pretty sure that the 14th Amendment and subject to jurisdiction thereof, meaning they fall under U.S. law. I'm guessing that has to do with the birthright citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, there's a lot of stuff going on in our country, and Trump is doing everything he said he was going to do. And I am all there for it, because I believe that Trump is what we need right now. And everybody's like, well, if he or they hadn't cheated in 2020, here's the thing, and this is going to be a hot take. I am glad that Biden won 2020, because there was a very radical reality check that this country needed.
Mm-hmm.
This country, or everybody's like, well, sometimes you just got to give these people what they want and endure some suffering in order to handle it, so that they learn that what they got wasn't what they want. You're going to get what you want, but are you going to want what you get? That's the lesson they learned.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, Donald Trump received the popular vote, the electoral vote, the Senate, and Congress. He now has 2 years of free reign, essentially, with limitations due to the law and the Constitution.
Well,
But
you got
this
to just
man
what we just
received his
saw
mandate.
happen today. Okay, shows that we do still have rhinos that are pretending to
yes.
be Republicans. Okay,
Cocaine Mitch.
because
Yeah,
they're
Cocaine
not
Mitch
going
voted
to.
no.
They're not all going to agree on Trump's picks. And we had our vice president stand up and back Trump today by getting Pete in there. So that's going to happen multiple times because I guarantee there's going to be a couple other ones that they're not going to agree with, especially when it comes to RFK Jr.
Has Patel been? Has
No,
Patel been?
he's going to be interviewed next week. I think Wednesday it's going to be Robert Kennedy Jr., which I'm going to
I'm glad that
do live.
got in. I'm hoping that Patel goes in because once Patel is brought in, folks, it's fucking over for the Dems.
And they know it.
They all will obviously blame Trump for what might happen. Because here's the thing. With Pam Bondi and them getting put in, I believe she was confirmed. I know she was interviewed, but I can't remember if she was confirmed or not.
No, she hasn't been confirmed yet. I think she's next because it was she was brought in after Pete was, okay, and they have to wait. I think it's 30 hours. Then they can bring up the vote to confirm. So I think she's next.
Okay. Well, anyway, if she gets approved and Patel approved, they can choose without being told by Trump to investigate certain members of Congress. They can choose whether or not that they're to do so. These investigations don't have to be ordered by the president. He can give his thumbs up, or he can give it, or he's like, sure, do what you wish is necessary, do what you wish may be, or if you feel it needs to be done, do so. Bondi, Patel, and Gabbard.
Oh, did you read it?
Dems are flinging poop. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'm hoping that Gabbard also gets confirmed along with RFK, because then you actually now have a true unity administration. We had a unity party. We had a unity party that Trump won with. Once those two are put into office, we will have a unity administration of both Democrats and Republicans. Now, yes, Tulsi joined the Republican Party, but RFK didn't. I do believe he is still a Democrat or a registered Republican. I can't remember which, but it's still going to be different political parties within the administration. Can Biden ever say that he did that? No. He had members of his cabinet that were getting arrested left and right for shit that was weird. I mean, you had a bald Lex Luthor guy that thought he was a woman stealing women's luggage at airports. You had you have that freaking weird ass fat tubby, I can't remember if it's a general or admiral guy that thinks they're a woman. Has that thing been fired yet? Because I know that the commandant
I don't know, but
Navy,
I know
the HHS lady, the HHS man.
I think so.
I guess.
I think didn't RFK get HHS?
He calls himself Rachel. I know that much.
What's the position that RFK just got?
He hasn't gotten it yet for health. Yeah, for the Department of Health is who he's going to be in charge of.
Health and Human Services.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten it yet.
RFK's, he's going to succeed that fucking thing, and I don't know. I don't know what I mean. It's a dude. It's a fucking dude in a dress.
Here's the
thing. The guy in the dress wasn't he for Energy Secretary?
Yeah, that was Energy Secretary.
Okay, there's a bunch of them. Okay, so it's hard to tell. There's a bunch of guys dressed in dresses that are generals and admirals and all that stuff, parading around like what was his name, Klinger on MASH.
Yeah.
So that's all I can say is my mom loved that show. So
Yeah, to answer Hardwick about not Lex or insulting Lex Luthor. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I've called that blackball bitch in fucking Congress or whatever. I can't remember her name. I've called her the gender and race bent Lex Luthor. I will, or anybody who is a bald head that is evil incarnate, I will freaking compare them to Lex Luthor. So yeah, I know it was a joke, Hardwick. I'm just needling you back. But yeah.
But
All
I
these
want to play
people
this
from
thing from Trump. And he's talking to this woman from the hurricane in North Carolina, because we did the California stuff. So I wanted to do this other one. I had it missed. I didn't have it in order. I don't know why. I normally am better at that, but I guess because I was, I don't know.
That's
I just messed up. But I want to play this for everybody. So just give me a second. Okay, because this is pretty good. I saw this too, because I aired this whole thing.
I'm a pastor Nick's, our church right down the road. We had only purchased in May, and it's a big church. We're a small congregation, and I had people say, "What are you going to do with this big building?" And I said, "Only God knows." And we had our dedication, and the storm came the next week. And the outpouring of people. My son brought the first load of supplies. And from there, I stayed there for about 3 months. I slept on the floor for about 3 weeks because the need was so great. The people were so devastated. And I said, I want to be here for them. And they were coming in just day and night. So there's really no need for me to go home. But we had people from Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas, Indiana, Oklahoma, people from all over. We have not received any help, like from the government or anything. But I said, Lord, if you want us to do that, people. So they came from all over the states.
But FEMA did nothing. It was the locals. Wasted time and money.
The locals and the people that knew us. And before the week was over, our church was so packed with supplies we couldn't even walk. Even in our sanctuary, it was up to the platform of things, and in our halls and in our rooms. And we're just now beginning to get a little straightened out. But somebody said, "How long are you going to be here?" I said, "I'm going to be here through the winter and even on, if possible," because when you meet people that's been through the struggle. I had a little lady come up, and I said, "Can we do anything special for you?" And she said, "I don't want to be selfish, but said, could I have a cup of coffee?" And I handed her that coffee, and she stood there and tears just poured. She said, "You don't realize how important the little things. It's not the big things in life that we have, but it's the little things and knowing that God is our source. I don't look to man. I don't have to have a lot of things. I had trees, about 20 trees down in my yard, but that didn't really matter, doesn't matter, because the needs of the people is what I want to be there for. God is good. He's very good. And my daughter now, her house is really in bad shape.
That was Trump, and he spent hours with these people. Listening to all those people you saw at the podium. All of them had stories, and he listened to all of them. And then when he went to California after that, and he said that FEMA, we don't need FEMA. He goes, big cut states like New York, California, Texas, and Florida, you guys have already got a whole emergency system set up. So if there's an emergency for something, you guys can pretty much care for it. And look how many people you have in your state. And you guys also have National Guard, right? So if your state needs National Guard, the National Guard would be called out by the president, but the president would just wait for you guys to ask and say, hey, and he'll give you all you need. Okay. And he's already said that. And he said it to people in California too, that I'm ready. I'm right now. I'm ready to give you guys anything you guys need that I need to make sure you have. And it's up to your governors and your other mayors and other people like that in your state too, to step up and do the jobs that they were asked to do by the people that voted them in. So I'm liking all of that because he's trying to get the people to work hand in hand. He goes, when people come to your state to bring stuff and FEMA comes in and says, no, 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 you have to do it like this, and nothing's getting done because there's too much red tape and everybody's fighting amongst each other. And then remember the videos that you and I and all of us talked about on this show, where we had the people that had their own helicopters and planes and they were flying victims out. Remember that? And then FEMA came and said, nope, you can't take off. We're not going to let you go and save any more people. Like, what the fuck? What does that mean? That is wrong. And that's what Trump's trying to say. We've got to go in and weed out the problems. We've got to clear out the bureaucracy so that we can help people in times of need. It's ridiculous to stand there like what they did with those, 8 fire trucks that came from Oregon to go to California to help. And they made them sit there because they said they got to be tested for emissions and all this bullshit.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
It's ridiculous and stupid when people's lives are at stake and the people need help. Just like that lady that just gave birth. Okay. And that guy he went in and he said, fuck them. He took the helicopter and went in and got the lady and her baby, her newborn. Remember? We showed that on here. That is what Trump is saying has got to be fixed. That's the kind of crap that you can't have. When you have a hurricane and it takes out 2 whole towns and they're trying to find people and people have nowhere to go because their houses are gone. There's nothing. You've seen what it's like. That lady's crib being wrapped around a tree, right? But and they find her baby somewhere else. Okay. But the baby's fine. But the thing is, you've got to have people go in to do this stuff. Okay. And if you have to wait around for FEMA to decide, oh, we got to set up here and we got to do this, we got to do that bullshit, instead of just running in with your capes on and just start helping people. That's what other people do when they go into a site. They just start digging through the debris because they hear someone moaning or whatever it is, an animal that's trapped. They go in with their hands and help people. Like Katrina, people had their own little canoes and their blow-up rafts, and they were out there saving people and animals on their own. They didn't wait for FEMA. And if they had waited, how many more people would have died? See, I'm liking this because he's putting a spotlight on some of the problems that we've had for years, and he's forcing people to see it. And as long as we share it, guess what? Good stuff's going to happen because changes are going to come about because of what people are seeing and understanding. We got to get rid of the red tape. We've got to clean house. And that's what he meant. I think this is it. We're
Right.
draining the swamp.
Yeah,
and I want you to see that because to me that's important. And that was in North Carolina. And then he went all the way across the country to California.
Yeah.
To take care of people. Get the word out that these people need help and we need to help them. And we can help each other better than the government can. And that's basically what Trump was saying. Go ahead, Orange Hat.
Here's the thing. Here's the difference between Donald Trump. That video showed Donald Trump giving up the microphone and listening to people and what they needed to say.
Yep.
And the difference between him and the previous president is the previous president would leave and run away from the podium so that he could get his diaper changed and not be revealed to the world as the degenerate cripple, basically decrepit fool that he was. As I said, folks, when the previous president leaves office, he's not going to have access to all those state-of-the-art medications that he was keeping, or that was keeping his dementia at bay. He's not going to have that stuff anymore. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this to be morbid. I'm not saying that I hope this happens. I am being a realistic here that the last president, I'm not going to say his name. He doesn't deserve the respect of that. He will be dead within this calendar year due to the fact that his dementia will accelerate to such a degree that he cannot be sustained. Because the more you put that much medication over a person whose dementia was accelerated since when he was on the campaign for 2020, it's going to come back with a vengeance. It's going to come back even more aggressive, and he is going to be dead. And I'm not saying I hope that happens. I am saying that that is a likelihood of happening. Because you don't push off the inevitable with such ferocity and expect it not to come back with equal ferocity after keeping it at bay for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm shocked that he lasted as long as he did. Because remember, many times I said, look at his hands. His hands are all bruised up from all the IVs. They were constantly, and on his legs, I guarantee some of the times when he was standing there, they had an IV in his leg just to keep him from collapsing, because he was just jabbed up. He was constantly jabbed up because they had to keep him drugged up just to have him coherent for 5-10 minutes, to do stuff. That's why you never saw him. That's why he was in the basement all the time. Even before he was even elected, he was already being drugged up just to get him
It
right.
is so insane that the mainstream media, the military-industrial complex, the deep state screwed up big time. The idea that you had in 2015 to 2016, you had the introduction of Trump, somebody that, at first people thought it would be a joke kind of campaign, but the reaction that they gave to him was very disconcerting to me. Why do they hate him so much? He was the darling of Hollywood, business, the elite, everybody. And when he became president, I said, okay, I'm going to give this guy a chance. And I saw that, okay. And again, I remember the first term. He did everything he said he was going to do. He started off day one. And in looking back, he said it took a hard time to get things going because he had trouble. But the thing is, for the 2019-2020 election, which he should have won, but that's where they messed up. He had an 8-year plan. So all they did was delay the inevitable. He had an additional 4 years to plan everything. So when he went to the office this past Monday, he was ready to execute the plan he'd had back since 2020. So that is why everything is happening so quickly, so fast, because he was ready. So in essence, you have to be grateful that he lost, or we lost in 2020, because we knew it was going on. And the thing is that he imagine he made the comment today during the California fire conference. He would have been leaving office at this time, and now you have him for another 4 years. So he's been in your head the last 8 years, and now you have him for 12 instead of 8. So it's insane. And I no longer watch television. That is so wild when you think about it. Back in 2015, 2016, when Trump came to office, to now his second term after a 4-year debacle, how our society has changed. I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch anything. I get my news from X, and X is where I get everything. How we don't trust pharmaceuticals anymore. We don't trust Hollywood anymore. No one's watching the movies. No one's trusting what's going on. We don't care about any celebrity going on. The whole what is it? The Barack Obama, Jennifer Aniston bullshit. No one cares. Nobody cares.
I have thoughts about that. Can we come back to that later?
But it's all bullshit. The guy's a fag, so it doesn't matter. It's true.
Wait, I gotta dig something up now that you said that. But go ahead, Bruce. I'm gonna bring up a video that I saw earlier.
I mean, Barack Obama's rumored to be fucking the one girl that's got a better chin than Matt Rife. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you gonna try to sell me on his heterosexuality again? Come on, stop it! I can only take so much.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It was an interview with Jennifer Aniston, and she's being
Exactly.
interviewed
When
at
did Jennifer
night.
Aniston start pegging
What was the
Barry?
name of that show?
Friends?
It's a nighttime show. Oh, I can't remember the guy's
It was a
name.
Tonight Show. Jimmy Fallon.
Was it? No, it wasn't Jimmy Fallon. It was the other guy. What's the other guy's name?
Jimmy Kimmel.
I don't know. Let me find
It
it.
was
real
either
quick.
Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. If it was maybe it was. Oh, it was probably Kimmel. It was probably that.
Because it was. I liked it. Let me go to my
Shit.
likes. I'll go to my likes. 'Cause
I can't believe Jennifer Aniston. I mean, if she wants
But
to,
it's
that's
not
fine with
true.
her, but
It's not true.
No,
It's
I know
bullshit.
it isn't true. That's what's so funny about this interview. It's so funny.
Yeah, but the thing is that this is the dying mainstream media trying to gin up some bullshit, and it's done. We're done with this crap. If I want to have an entertainment a conversation, you listen to a podcast where they ask real questions. You saw the difference of how Trump's interviews with media went, and they went they went badly for the media because they're disingenuous, and how
Seth
his
Meyers
podcast.
interviewed Jennifer Aniston.
You have it?
No, it's right there in chat. Grumpy says it was Seth Meyers at Janet from Another Planet.
Seth Meyers, is that who it was? Okay, I'm trying to find it because I was looking through my timeline and I couldn't find anything on there.
I just can't believe this is the topic of our discussion.
I don't even I only brought it up because it's a distraction. It's
Well,
the
it was
lie.
funny
It's
is
a
because of
lie.
the way he interviewed her. That's what was funny. It wasn't
I don't-
really
yes,
the
yes,
topic.
yes.
It was the way he asked the questions is what made it funny.
Oh
So
yeah,
let
and
me-
then of course again
let me-
everything. Hollywood is a degenerate piece of shithole. They had this. I didn't even like the Oscars. Who gives a fuck? I don't. I just culturally, everything that is going on now has been perverted and destroyed, and it's just worthless. It's nothing. It has no meaning, no nothing. It's gone. Yeah, I'm just ready to get out of here and just start my life and just start over. Just whatever. I don't give a shit.
Okay, here it is. Let me pause this. This was so funny. This whole interview. Okay, hold on. Let me I gotta bring it up because it's so funny, this whole thing, and I forgot all about it until you and Bruce brought it up. But it is funny. Okay. All right. It says it says, after watching this, I'm totally convinced that the story was about Jennifer Aniston and Barack Obama is true. What about you? Well, now I don't, but wait till you hear this interview. Now watch this. It's funny.
The magazine that came out a couple of weeks ago said the truth about Jen and Barack.
It's Kimmel.
Yeah, Kimmel. Okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't remember who it was.
That was of all the calls you get from your publicist where you're just like, oh no, what's it going to be? Or the email saying, some cheesy tabloid is going to make up a story. And then it's that.
Yeah. Does
I
your
was not
publicist
mad
ever
at
go
it.
like,
What happened to her face?
Is there any
Plastic surgery.
surgery.
She doesn't want to get old.
Well, I know it's not true.
Oh,
I
God.
don't know if everybody knows.
Well, it is untrue.
Some people, it is untrue. So the truth about Jen and Barack is that there is no truth.
There is
It
no
untrue.
truth.
So she became a
You know
man
Barack
then.
Now wait a minute.
I
Listen.
met him once.
Met him once.
I know Michelle more than him.
What is there a truth about you and Michelle that we should know?
That is not true.
So knowing that,
See? So that's where the whole thing was funny, is the fact that a lot of people were saying that she wasn't interested in Barack. She was liking Big Mike. What? Some of the stuff. So when I saw that interview, I just thought it was great. I just
Hey,
liked
Janet?
the way he asked that question. Yeah.
If I'm off sometime next week, I want to have a discussion. We'll have to fucking stream it off, not on YouTube, but there was a really good interview with Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And
You want to do it on X and Rumble?
fuck yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because if we
Give me
show it
the
on
date.
YouTube, they'll get butthurt, scared. Big Pharma will shut us down, and fuck Big Pharma. But Mel Gibson had a lot of unusual, unconventional statements that are not safe for YouTube, but they sound fairly medically sound.
The one he's talking about, one little snippet I did play on one of my shows, and it was about him saying that he had 3 friends that had stage 4 cancer. And they started taking 2 drugs. One of them was just mentioned a little earlier, and they're cured. They're no longer sick. So I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, I talked about that on one of the shows that I did, and I'm still waiting to see whether or not it's going to be taken down or not. But I got one more thing, and this was my last thing that I had for tonight. Let me bring it up real quick. I thought it was pretty interesting. I didn't know if you guys had seen it or not. So this right here. New proposed bill in Mississippi would pay $1,000 to bounty hunters for each successful deportation of an illegal that will help.
Okay, boys, we're moving to Mississippi.
So here we go. Here's
I do not agree with that.
Here's the news. But this is Mississippi. You got to remember, every state has their own constitution, and what they vote on, they could do. But I just wanted you guys to see what you thought about it.
Bill that would allow certified bounty hunters to assist in identifying and reporting undocumented immigrants was introduced in the Mississippi House of Representatives. The bill, proposed by the DeSoto County District Attorney and authored by State Rep. Justin Keene, would create the Mississippi Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program. This program would offer a $1,000 reward to registered bounty hunters for each successful deportation they help facilitate. Bill that would allow certified bounty hunters.
I think it's a terrible fucking idea.
Why?
Because this is where things could seriously go wrong for the Trump administration. You see, they're already doing the ICE raids, and that's all well and good. I fully support the ICE raids.
With Rangers.
But
those
these
are Rangers
people who
and
are
ICE
bounty
and
hunters,
ICE,
yeah, they're freaking law enforcement officials that know the due process of law and whatnot. These bounty hunters are not fully versed on law. And if they go in and freaking start profiling and shit and grab an American citizen off the fucking streets and shit, it could go, or this could blow back on the fucking Trump
No, it's not going to. It's not going to.
No, just let me finish my point. Okay. They're going to blend, or whether or not it will, doesn't matter. The fucking media, as much as we do not trust them and whatnot, there are still idiots out there who will watch them. And there are idiots out there who will believe them. And so when they start lying and saying Trump told Minnesota to do this shit, which isn't true, this is not a good thing. If anything, I believe that the federal government should stay the fuck out of Minnesota or Mississippi or whatever the state was. Because it's like, look, you guys want to be involved in this? Fine. But if you start freaking rounding up American citizens by accident because you freaking thought they might be illegal, you are out of your fucking minds. I do not support this at all.
Okay, now the reality of the situation. Bounty hunters are certified. This is the Mississippi law. They can do it. So there's no issue. Period.
How much training is required for bounty hunter certification?
It doesn't matter.
Know the law
it's not a problem.
Like
it's not going to happen. You're overblowing it. It doesn't matter.
It'd be different in every state, and all that Trump would have to do is say it's in the state's hands. And he's been saying that. The same thing with the abortion stuff. When he said it's in the state's hands now. So whatever that state chooses to do, that's their law. And as the president of the United States,
I know where they are right now. I know where they are. I have my brother's family's illegal, and they're there. I'm going to call and tell them I want some money.
I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I don't know if it's as rigorous.
I'm indifferent to these people. I don't want them here anymore. I want them all gone.
A bounty hunter. Now, I've only met one person
Don't get me wrong.
that was a bounty hunter, and they said basically they had to go to like a boot camp and they had to take tests and all this different stuff. So the only way I could honestly say I thought it was total stupidity to do that. Would be if I went and saw a training and thought there was just bullshit, like a 4-hour training or something,
No.
then it would be bullshit. But from what I was told by the one person I've ever met, that person in person, that it was almost like boot camp, where you had to go and you had to do all these different things. And you had to do it within a certain way, stuff like that. Now, to me, I want to say one thing about what Orange Hat was saying. Now, all of us as a United States citizen can perform a citizen arrest. That's a legal thing that we're allowed to do, right? Now, honestly, how many people have been murdered or killed or put in prison because they performed a citizen arrest and they did it wrong?
I'd have to look that up. But here's
Okay, but
another
what I'm
thing
saying
that
is,
It doesn't happen. It doesn't.
no, I know, but what I wanted you to understand was this: if that had happened, I guarantee you, every Democrat on this planet would have already plastered that all over the place about how it went all against our rights. Okay, so if it had happened, it would be all over the place. I have never heard of it. I've never heard of one person that committed a citizen arrest and killed someone. Now, what happened on that subway station train by that one gentleman that went to court and was found innocent or whatever of not murdering that guy? I can't remember what his name is. The Marine. Okay.
Daniel Perry.
I hear more about stuff like
Penny.
that. A person that just was defending himself and others being prosecuted by the left, basically, than anyone you'd ever hear about somebody. Because a person who went to training and stuff to become a bounty hunter and then wanted to help deport illegals, I don't see them as I think it'd be very, very rare to find someone who's like a serial killer or someone who wants to go out and be what do you call a skinhead or one of those people that just want to go out and hurt people. So I'm saying, just for fun. So to me, a person that would do that job would be someone who takes it serious. Like, remember the Dog the Bounty Hunter show? My mom used to love that stupid show. And when we went to Hawaii, and I rented a limo for the day for us to take us around the island and stuff. My mom was like, I want to go to Bounty Hunter's house or whatever his name was. So she thought that was awesome. And they acted very professionally on the show. So I don't know what type of training you would have. I guess it would depend on what state you're in. And if the state of Mississippi thinks that's going to help, and if it scares enough people to think that these people walking down the street could be a bounty hunter is going to take me out, maybe they'll leave the state.
They're doing it already. They're leaving the country already.
They're already doing self-deportations. Another thing that
that's good. They're smarter than they look.
Or this has a very big danger. Another thing that this has a very big danger of leading to is vigilantism.
Yeah, that's the problem that I'm worried about.
It doesn't.
That's the problem, not mine.
Yes, it does.
No.
Well,
because eventually somebody is going to get too goddamn zealous, and eventually they are going to overstep what is being allowed. This is just a lot of people are dismissing it outright, and you know what? You're entitled to your opinion. I am a person who is a realist that actually looks at all these situations from different angles. And it is an absolute reality that if you implement something that is unorthodox, you are willing to, or you are opening up to allowing overstepping in that situation.
Well, the thing is,
the bill
way
might not
to,
pass
the
true.
way to stop
If it
that,
does, the only certified bounty hunters not on Westo.
the way to help with that, Orange
Okay,
Hat,
sure.
is if somebody does it. Let's say that we get some nutcase somewhere in a state that passes something like that, and we get a person that becomes a vigilante. Okay, like that movie. My mom liked that Charles Bronson movie. Okay, where he goes and he gets revenge because his wife and daughter get assaulted and the mother's murdered and the daughter's raped by all these guys and stuff like that. And he goes out and he starts killing all these guys. Okay, maybe we get someone that starts doing that. Okay, and he gets arrested. We catch him, or she, whoever it is. They get arrested and we take them to court. and we actually go through the evidence, and we have an actual court where people could see it like they used to. Years ago, they had a show or had a channel called Court TV where you could actually watch court cases, like when O.J. Simpson went to court. You could see how the evidence was brought
Still has
in
it. Yeah.
step by step. Okay. That's important because if a person can sit and watch that unfold in front of them, they're more likely to understand the steps it takes to put someone in jail or not put them in jail. Okay. And if we have something that's that public that has to do with the way the government handled something or the way the whole state handled it, now there other states are worried that they're going to start jailing you if they think you might be a vigilante. You know this kind of chaos that goes on around some of this stuff. Then making it public to where people can see the step-by-step process of what they're doing and whether or not this person really did become a vigilante because of whatever. It's just no different than watching it unfold with these shootings. Like this one guy that's saying that he liked Candace Owens and listened to her, and that's why he decided to kill people, you know.
What?
Anyone can say anything they want. Yeah, it just happened like yesterday or the day before. That guy, that young black man that killed some people at a school, and his manifesto saying that he was huge into Candace Owens, and some of the stuff that she said is the reason why he did what he did.
Oh, bullshit.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. You have to use common sense on top of what the person's saying, why they did it. The guy that blew up his Cybertruck in front of Trump's tower in Vegas, does that mean what he said was all factual? No. It takes a while to root through the evidence to find out what happened and why he really did what he did, right? Through all the texts on his phone and all the other messages that he sent. So each one of those cases, if it does happen, we'll have to do it individual. It's one case, one person, and why did they decide to do it that way? That doesn't mean it's true. Like that woman, that serial killer woman, Warhol or Mornos or whatever her name was. Okay. Now she was killing men that she swears raped her. Okay, but she was convicted by a jury of her peers that she killed 5 men. and basically shot him in the head, whether it was because she felt like all men need to die because she was a prostitute and a drug addict. I don't know. But the people on her jury said that they thought she was a murderer and that she was a serial killer and she needed to be put to death, and now she's dead.
Oh,
so I'm just saying we'll have to do it. If something does happen because of a law like that, they'll have to make changes in their state. It's no different than any other state making a law for whatever reason they see fit in their state. And we have to let the states make those decisions. We have to give them the right to do that. I don't want them coming to my state and telling me I can't do this or that. And just like you wouldn't want them to do it in your state, right?
Yeah.
So we have to defend the state's right.
It's not so much that the state can do what they want.
Yeah.
The state can do what they want. It's just that I do not think that is the wisest choice to do.
I don't know, but now
it opens up way too much for negative press.
I'm just going to say that you're standing on the side where we've had problems before with bounty hunters getting overzealous. I can understand why you say what you said. Do I want to think that's going to happen again? No, I don't. But
do I care? No.
It has to pass first, and then I get the option. Do I care or not?
I don't give a shit. Let them all rot. Get a bullet to the head. I'm done with all this shit. Get them out of here. Out of fuera.
Well, all right. Well, that was my last. Well, he'll probably be right back. But that was my last thing that I had pulled up that I wanted us to talk about. But tomorrow, here he comes. Tomorrow, we're going to be playing a game again, right, Bruce?
Yep. Tomorrow is the alpha test. That's the group of people that are doing a non-standardized D100 custom game. You guys are almost like completely 6th level now. Really happy with you.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good, I think, as a team.
We've played over 30 sessions now, and you guys haven't really had a whole lot of complaints or problems with the processing. I'm enjoying it. It's a fast system. Feels like a faster system than Pathfinder, but that's not a a real competition, because the Pathfinder game you're playing, you're like 16th and 17th level, whereas you're only 6th level in this game. So we'll see how this works. We're going to do a long-term test on it, so don't worry.
And then we're
talking about the Addams Family on Sunday.
Sunday we're going to do the Addams Family movie. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's what we got going on until next week. We'll do the shows again. So what do you two have going on?
Well, I got my weekly recap coming on Sunday, finishing off the theme streams on Tuesday with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wednesday, Rocky 2 with my friend Mara. Thursday, Warm Bodies discussion with her on X at 8 p.m. And that's basically what I got going on. Just trying to get the 2,000 subs before the end of this year.
Good luck. Hope you do it. What about you, Ruben?
Yeah, basically, thank you for the show. First week of the Trump administration. What a week. I did some videos on the 19th and 20th. I posted them recently. I did a stream with Front Porch Conservative and the team. We watched the administration, commented on it, did some snippets there. I'm going to be posting some comments that I have there. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put together some information and put it out there, a video on the AI debacle that everyone's talking about. And I have my opinion. I did share it in the chat earlier today, because again, people are getting this overblown. That's what's common that we can talk about later. It's a very big discussion, and I want to bring some people on board to do that. I'm going to try and get that organized, next week as well. But things are coming very fluid, but a lot's going on my plate. But you can watch me on my videos on X, on Rumble, on YouTube at Ruben Haynes. It's all over there. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to highlight Lunatic Fringe's post. I wanted to ask her who you directing this to. Is this to Orange Hat? Because I said that states have rights over the federal government myself. And so does Trump. Trump says, he always goes back and says that states have their own constitution and they have rights to make decisions for their own people in their states. And it shouldn't affect the federal government should be able to go in and do anything. Just like Colorado, you can have pot. It's legal. But the federal government can't go in and arrest people because they got a joint and they're smoking it.
I'd like to address it.
Okay, go ahead.
I already know that the states have that the states have rights over federal. And yes, why don't I agree with it? It's not so much that I think that the feds should handle this. It's the fact that this just has way too many possibilities for a monumental screw up that could blow back in so many ways. That is what I am worried about. We have an administration that is doing a lot of good right now. And if the worst of this situation is created due to the whole bounty hunter situation being created, yes, it has to pass. And I already understand all that shit. But here's the thing. There is a lot of room in which this could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I am worried about.
Okay.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't or that they don't have a right to do it. I am saying that there is a monumental potential for all the wrong things to happen. That is what I am saying. That is why I disagree with it. Let this be handled the way it's currently being handled. You do not want to frickin' rile up citizens with frickin' promises of money, and then eventually people are going to start trying to become a bounty hunter here and there, and then they might just take the short and sweet way of doing it and not know what the hell it's all about, and then they're going to fuck shit up in the wrong way. That is my worry.
But to your point, there are But to your point, other states are doing the same thing, but they're doing it differently. Instead of saying bounty hunter, they're saying call ICE and you get money. It's the same thing. They're getting the same money. One is basically saying, okay,
No,
you call
ICE
this,
or the bounty hunters are the ones who are going out and actually rounding the people up, holding them for ICE to come in and take them into their custody. That or bounty hunter takes a more proactive role, where a person calling a frickin' tip line is just simply calling a tip line.
but the same thing is the same outcome. They get the same money. That's what's going on now. So it's the same thing. One state is basically saying call in for
Doing
tips.
a tip line is a better thing to do.
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
Yeah, see, this is something I posted on my
Doesn't
own
matter.
channel, okay, a while back. Right here. Report illegal aliens in your neighborhood, at schools, at work, at church, at restaurants. And it's a number for ICE to come and get them.
And it's again, what I do like is the actual great things that people are doing, the comedy routines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the ones where they have, oh my, they're going to come deport my mother-in-law. Oh no. They're going to go to her address at 743 Windrush Street to get the information.
Yeah, he's talking about trying to see if they come get his mother-in-law and stuff. Yeah, it's funny. But the thing is, I understand what Orange Hat's saying, and I hate to say it, but there's always going to be that one person that's going to have a screw loose or something, thinking that he's helping. When they're not, they're going to make it worse. But the thing is, that's why, to me, it's important that we do focus that it's each state has the right to do whatever they feel is fit for their state. And when it does happen, if it does happen, that's when we make sure, well, that state made it a law to be able to do that. And it's not the federal government that caused that to happen. And we have to make sure, just like I said, it's up to us to make sure the information that we're sharing is as factual as we can possibly make it. Because if something like that does happen, you and I are going to say, that's not right. A person doesn't have the right to go out and just start killing people. Being a vigilante is against the law, even though, just like what Bruce has talked about many times, that one thing where the dad is standing by the phone at the airport when that guy that took his young boy away and brutalized him over and over again, right? And he's walking by and he pulls a gun out and he shot the guy. That guy.
Why, Gary? Why?
But the thing is, what he did was against the law. He broke the law. And we have laws in our country. Okay. And what the jury did by not basically punishing him for it, that was the right of that state and the jury that was their right to do that and to give him the the sentence they believed he deserved, just like that father in Texas that beat that guy to death with his bare hands when he caught him raping his young daughter in the barn.
Oh.
Okay, that's happened. And that's why we have to let the states run their states the way the people vote for it to happen. That's the way our forefathers set up our country, and it will work out for the better if we let the laws run the way they're supposed to. We can't have people just taking the law into their own hands. We have to be able to try to trust the courts and let it, even though it takes years, it seems like. I'm hoping that with this administration and having these different groups of people they're putting together, that just like, what was it? I think it was Bondi that said something about sending people to the states to help them streamline and learn how to do certain things. And if we can do that with the agriculture and the schools and everything, we will have a way better country. And it will help each state minimize the paperwork and shit, just like what you're going to see in California. I really believe that we're going to see huge changes into streamlining our country and getting our country back under control of the people that run it, which is us in our towns, in our cities, in our states. And that's where it belongs. Because if we take our rights away from the federal government and put them back where our state is,
Mm-hmm.
that's where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we're called the United States. We are
Mm-hmm.
separate but together because we have a federal government that protects our borders from invasion of others. But that doesn't give the federal government the right to invade our borders. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They can't come into my state and tell me I can't smoke this joint because my state says it's legal. You see what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And as long as we do that and we try to protect our states, I think we'll be fine. I think everything will work out. We just have to let our courts work out. And I just went through a bunch of stuff with courts this last year, and I learned a little bit, and I understand. And the more I'm involved, the more I really believe that our courts are good. It's just that we have one shitty judge every so often, or we have a crappy lawyer, or we have that person that's gotten away with it because they paid somebody, you know. That's who we got to weed out. It's not the system it's not really the system that's broken. It's the people in the system that's broken. And we need to weed them out. Once we do that, we're going to win. And I really believe that. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you, Bruce. And thank you, Orange Hat. Thank you, Ruben. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much to the chat. We got a wonderful chat, very interactive, and they're smart. And they definitely seem like people that want to see our country rise to the top again. And I think we're on our way.
Very good.
So I just wanted to say that. But thank you guys very much. And you guys have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
First off, let me convey to my family, friends, and supporters that now is not the time to gloat. We must remember that most of our left-leaning friends are good people who want the same things in life as we do, but simply think differently on how to get there. It is now time to be the bigger man, to extend an olive branch and unite all reasonable people of this great nation. God has blessed America, and together with President Trump, we will make America great again.